How's it? Meteorologist Tom Burchard here with a quick look at some of the forecast reasoning behind Hurricane Kiko. If you live in Hawaii, becoming increasingly aware that major Hurricane Kiko is out there. Like I said earlier, about 1,500 miles away from the islands. But I just wanted to take a quick look at some of the factors that are playing into the track and intensity forecast for Kiko and why there's some uncertainty in the later periods of the forecast. So I'm just going to use the upper wind pattern to describe what's going on now and the anticipated future for Kiko as far as the upper level winds along the forecast track. So this image here shows wind speeds at about 35,000 feet in the atmosphere, way up there. And it's just one of the factors that determine the track and intensity of a tropical cyclone. So down here in the bottom right of the screen, we can kind of see where Kiko is now in its representation. This is what the circulation looks up at the top of the atmosphere, close to the top of the atmosphere at around 35,000 feet. And we'll just see it track westward here with time. The area just to the north of very light winds is making sure that Kiko is remaining in a fairly low wind shear environment, and their easterly winds at the upper levels and easterly winds at the lower levels as well, which is conducive for the intensification and trend that we recently saw, and conducive for Kiko remaining as a fairly intense hurricane as it crosses 140 here. So it crosses 140, that's the official designation between the Eastern Pacific and the Central Pacific. And you can see the representation of Kiko still pretty strong, even way up there at 35,000 feet, as it's to the southwest of this high pressure cell and to the distant east of this one. But notice to the north of the Hawaiian Islands, which are here, we see much stronger winds associated with this low pressure system in the upper atmosphere. This is real typical for Hawaii, and it's what we call the wall of shear. This wall of shear, a lot of times as tropical cyclones get closer to the islands, is what ends up decapitating them. So that's part of the factor here. As we scroll, this is a Friday night, and get into Saturday night into Sunday, you can see in this regime here, Kiko is still in a very light wind shear environment. At least the upper level winds are very light, and actually wouldn't be surprising to see Kiko still a fairly strong hurricane. And the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center continues to indicate that Kiko will still be a strong hurricane at this time as it draws closer to this upper level low. Then as it does so, you can see the upper level representation of Kiko gradually fades out here as we get into Monday. And that's because it starts to interact with the winds, the southwesterly winds on the east side and the southeast side of this upper level low. So that is good news for the state of Hawaii, generally speaking. But there are some caveats here. Watch as we go through time. Watch the upper level low track westward. And so it's a retrograding system. So if this system retrogrades more quickly than what the forecast models indicate here, this area of light winds to its east, if Kiko is still in this area, could allow Kiko to remain, relatively strong. If the trough and this low retrograde more slowly, then Kiko could get decapitated before crossing about 150 west longitude next Monday or so.